whenever, you know.
Here we are at Nord Oval, and doesn't it look a picture, TK? In my 45 plus years of coming to this oval, I will say it's as good as I've ever seen it look. So Barry Solomon and David Payne and the ground staff, it is, Gary, it's looking $1 million at the home of football. And back to the second test. We're here for our wash-up of the second test at the beautiful Adelaide Oval. Bizarre in a lot of ways, TK. Did neither captain want to win the game? It was almost like tennis. Well, you can have the advantage. Or chess, get yours. You know, win the toss and bat at Adelaide Oval. What do you do if you think about it? Bowling, you bat. Go stand in the corner and write out 1,000,000 times, if I win the toss at Adelaide, I will bat. The only team who's won after not is the West Indies in '92 and Donkey's years. Well, we're talking of a superstar side, not this England side. It was just crazy. Continue on with the captaincy focus. What do we all want in sport? You want the opposition doing the least what they want to do. It smacked on the follow-on. England bat overnight in that they're 3 or 4 for its stumps, the game was over. So the supposed bit of resting your bowlers for workload-wise, they actually, in all likelihood, would have had another day off before Perth. So I just, you know, it wasn't like they'd had to bowl an excessive amount of overs in England's first innings. Okay, the Ovid and Wokes partnership prolonged England's innings a bit, but in some ways it meant they were going to bowl with the pink ball straight away at night. And Smith also, he's always a bit of a worry that he does panic a bit, and you could sense that on the 4th night. The 2 reviews, they were diabolical. You can see both live. You know, we went straight away sitting there. That's not inside edge. And then the next LB, my God, we've seen everything in the test matches going over the top of the stumps. We'll get back for the obvious bake of the week. Well, that was way too high straight away. It was just ridiculous. So you'd wasted 2 views in 2 reviews and 3 balls, and the way those 2 were umpiring, that could have been very costly. Look, we've got to give Shaun Marsh credit. I wouldn't have picked him, as I've made the point, but you've got to give his credit. He's been vital in the 2 test matches. It is batted and batted. He concentrated. It was similar in some regards to Smith in the first test. And he didn't really try and expand and do anything outrageous till after he got his 100 when Australia were in that quick push for runs with Australia hit 6. Cummins, another one. In terms of probably bowled as well in this test match as he has, and only ended up with the 3 wickets, but it's his batting. He has a genuine technique to be an all-rounder. I couldn't work out, once they decided on the night watchman, why it wasn't Cummins. To my mind, he smacks of a night watchman, because he continued batting the next day and just bat properly, not Lyon just having a bit of a slog. So I'd actually made the point predicting that Cummins would get 100 as a night watchman before, and then I was spewing that he wasn't used in that role. Look, England, for me, Ali's a bitsy player. He's a bit of an inbred dog of 2 breeds. He's not a bats. He's a bit of a batsman. He's just a bowler. We've seen spinners get exposed here, like Ashwin, he relies on it in Asia, has struggled here, let alone Ali. And that is a huge part of the gap between the 2 sides. Lyon's improvement, he's racing towards 300 test wickets. His improvement the last year, 18 months to 2 years is incredible. He's certainly got outright claims to being the best spin bowler in the world at the moment, without a doubt. I think Hanscom's another one. Now, why are we making sport so complicated? His batting, how they've decided to get so many movements in this weird thing. The old kiss, keep it simple, stupid. The ball's up, you play forward, the ball's back, you play back. To my mind, it smacks of him. I think he is mentally shot at the moment. I would have played Maxwell in the next test before him, not Mitch Marsh. Again, this bit of fascination with Australian cricket, keep desperately trying to find the all-rounder. I think Mitch Marsh's got a lot of untapped ability he hasn't really shown in Test cricket yet. I do think he may end up being a very, very good Test cricketer, but Maxwell's the one who's bashed the door down, demanded. They say go back and perform underneath. Well, he's done that. 278 and a pretty average LBW decision for 96. He's done the hard yards. Again, I think it comes back to personality conflict, not cricket ability from not being in the side. Bit of weird things too. I think Jason Gillespie highlighted it pretty well. Yes, you can say it was a refreshing honesty from David Saker about Smith not enforcing the follow-on, but don't we tend to also want to keep things in-house as well in a coaching capacity? So I did find that a bit bewildering. Look, I think Payne's keeping has been a revelation. Yes, he made the one error in Brisbane, but you can see he's a keeper. He's not Wade, a glorified backstop. You know, he screamed out for an actual keeper. Yes, I think it was crazy that Payne wasn't keeping for either Victoria or Tasmania at the start of the year, but at least he is a natural keeper. And his batting in the first innings, where he went in and took the advantage away from England with counter-attacking batting, was also pretty important in the outcome. On the England side of things, I think they've got a few guys who are, they're good B graders. The cliche Stoneman, Vince, Milan, Ali, they're all, I think they rely a hell of a lot on Root. Cookie's nearly gone. You can argue how much he's got left in his career. Look, Root's second innings is 67. He did bat really well. And overnight on the fourth night, let's face it, it was still slightly advantage Australia, but England were right back in the game. Admittedly, Hazelwood ended at 8 balls on the fifth day. But Root did look really good. Anderson, for me, is he's a disappointment in terms of he looks like he's got to have everything in his favour in Australia. You know, all of a sudden he was a gun when the ball was swinging around extraordinarily on the night where we did bat in the lights. But to me, he's a bit of a sook. Needs everything going for him. Bit of lack of mongrel, bit of lack of fight in him. Yes, they lack a genuine quick. We have got the quicks. Mitch Stark, the best sorbent toilet paper bowler in the world, cleans up the tail beautifully. There you are, DC and Willie. There's a Paynham line. Paddles. So that was good. Yes, there's no doubt the Australian foursome of bowlers, they're not letting off pressure. It seems to be England as soon as the main two. Overton showed a bit this game. We've got to be fair in his test debut. He was good, and Wokes was good under lights, but again, pretty average in the day. The first day, after sending us in, England bowled way too short, was pretty average in that way. Other things, we'll come back for the bake of the week. Other things in, what have we got around? Kale quitting Melbourne City overnight. There is talk of Adelaide after him. Look, while it'd be great for the game here, it'd be a fillip for the game in Adelaide, I'd be very surprised if he hasn't got a European club organised already. And yeah, it has been a bit weird. I would have thought as soon as that last qualifier, Melbourne City would have been in their starting 11, so I found that a bit strange. Big week for the 36ers. We've got Perth and then New Zealand the next 3 over the weekend, Friday and then Sunday. Big game for Adelaide United against Melbourne City. Good news in terms of the bike world. The Speedway up Murray Bridge announced, which is expected to bring 7 million to the coffers. So we've got to be grateful of that in the sporting world. But let's go back. The bake of the week, the umpiring. The umpiring in the 4th test was as poor as we've ever seen in a test match in Australia. Chris Gaffney, you've just given Sean Marsh out, which live, no problem with that, it looked out. Once you've seen the replay and it's bouncing over the top, surely something had to have registered upstairs. Shit, there's a bit of bounce in this wicket. 10 minutes later, he gives Payne out for a ball which was even higher. Would have been lucky if it hit the 6th stump. And it was just shocking. Ellingar was virtually guessing. And it smacked on the last day where he gave Wokes out. Geez, I don't really know here. Giving it out late. DRS, you decide. It was absolutely appalling. 7 overturned decisions. Certainly a record in Australia. I'm not sure worldwide it'd be. Gaffney was just way out of his depth. Alendar, I think it's political that he's still on the ICC panel. The whole was on, and that sort of thing. He should have been given the bullet. You make that many errors in work as he has in the last 3 years. It's see you later out the door. Now, for my mind, yes, it's all great, this neutral umpires theory and that. Surely we can come up with 15 people who can umpire cricket. And it smacks of at the moment. Geez, there are some Barry Crockers amongst them. So we don't have the Australian English people umpiring the Ashes when you can actually lay claim they probably are the best few umpires in the world. So that hasn't worked. So the overall bake of the week, Gaffney and Alim Dar, congratulations on your honorary membership for Royal Society for the Blind, and you also win a guide dog each. So in terms of rulebook, the second test, we've got one hand firmly on the urn. Go the Aussies. Rulebook over and out.